Every year, more than 1,500 people flooded in from across the country. By the 1700s, Edo had over 1 million residents, larger than most European capitals at the time. When the emperor relocated from Kyoto in 1868, the city received its new name, Tokyo, meaning Eastern Capital. What followed was a century of challenger earthquakes, wartime bombings, total destruction, total rebirth. Tokyo has rebuilt itself so many times that resilience isn't just part of its history. It's part of its personality. Ancient temples beside glass towers, traditional gardens beside the world's fastest trains. Tokyo is layered, alive, and endlessly surprising. There's a legend about a fox who led a lost merchant through mountain mist to a hidden shrine in Kyoto and changed his fortune forever. That shrine still stands, Fushimi Inari Taisha, and its power still draws millions. As you pass beneath its thousands of crimson Torii gates, you're not simply walking through a tourist attraction. You're stepping into over 1,300 years of human faith. Every single gate was donated by a person, a family, or a business, each one an act of prayer, gratitude, or deep personal hope. The shrine dates back to 711 AD, winding up through dense forest paths to a mountain summit where fox spirits, the kitsune, are said to carry human wishes directly to the gods. Reach the top, and you won't just see a view. You'll feel something, and it's very hard to explain. Deep in the mountains of Gifu Prefecture sits a village so ancient and so beautifully preserved, it feels genuinely impossible. Shirakawa-go, over 300 years old, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Its famous Gasho-zukuri farmhouses feature steep thatched rooftops built to survive brutal mountain winters and constructed entirely without a single nail. The design itself resembles hands folded in prayer, reflecting the deep devotion of the people who built them. In winter, snow blankets the rooftops, while warm firelight glows from within. It's one of those places that makes you wonder if the modern world got a few things completely wrong. Perched in the hills above Kyoto, Kiyomizu-dera has stood for over 1,200 years. And like Shirakawa-go, its entire complex was built without a single nail. Founded in 778 AD, beside the sacred Ottawa Spring, its name means simply Pure Water Temple. Hidden within its grounds is Jishu Shrine, where visitors walk blindfolded between two stones. Reach the second stone without veering off course, and legend says, love will find you. It's the kind of tradition that sounds simple until you're actually standing there, eyes closed, heart quietly hoping. Most people picture Japan as mountains and city lights. Then they discover Ishigaki Island, and everything shifts. Located 2,000 kilometers from Tokyo, this is the southernmost city in Japan. Crystal clear water, outer white sand. Coral reefs protected within Iriomote Ishigaki National Park. The culture here carries a unique blend of Japanese and Taiwanese influences. You'll taste it in the food, hear it in the music, and feel it in the island's unhurried rhythm. Warm, tropical, and genuinely breathtaking, especially between April and November. For centuries, no one was allowed to die on Miyajima Island. No one was allowed to be born there either. The land itself was considered too sacred to absorb the full weight of human life. The shrine's famous floating Torii gate, rising from the sea at high tide, is one of Japan's most iconic images. But the meaning behind it runs far deeper. Dedicated to the three daughters of the storm god Susanoo, the island itself is worshipped as a living deity in Shinto faith. Visitors once arrived only by boat, making that great gate the spiritual threshold between the ordinary world and something divine. Itsukushima Shrine has stood for over 1,400 years, and it still stops people in their tracks. Want one photograph that captures everything Japanese? Chureito Pagoda is where you go. A blazing red 5-story pagoda rising above Fujiyoshida City, framed in spring by cherry blossoms and in autumn by crimson and gold leaves, with Mount Fuji filling the horizon behind it. Built in 1963 as a peace memorial, it sits at the top of 398 stone steps. Every single one of them is worth it. On the misty shores of Lake Ashi, within the ancient caldera of Mount Hakone, stands a shrine that has watched over this landscape for over 1,200 years. Founded in 757 CE and dedicated to deities including Ninigi no Mikoto, grandchild of the sun goddess Amaterasu. Hakone Shrine carries legends as deep as the lake itself. Every year on July 31st, a ceremony honors Kuzuryu, the dragon god said to once have ruled these waters, ensuring peace for all the surrounding people. Its red Torii gate, rising from the lake with Fuji reflected behind it, may be the single most photographed scene in all of Japan. Just 25 minutes from Sapporo, the small port city of Otaru feels like the rest of Japan forgot to keep up with it, and it's better for that. Once the most important trading hub in Hokkaido, home to the island's very first railway line, opened in 1880, its old stone merchant buildings still stand today, now holding quiet cafes, glass workshops, and shops full of character. A canal lined with historic warehouses runs through the town center, especially magical in winter when lanterns cast warm light across the snow. Would you add Otaru to your travel list? Drop a 1 if you've been a 2 if you're dreaming of going. High in the cedar forests of Wakayama, shrouded in mountain mist, sits Koyasan, the sacred heart of Shingon Buddhism, founded over 1,200 years ago. Pass through the Great Daemon Gate. Follow the moss-covered paths through Okinawa Cemetery to the resting place of the revered monk, Kobo Daishi. Feel the weight of centuries beneath every single step. You can sleep here, share a monk's meal, wake before dawn to the sound of temple bells echoing through ancient trees. In a world that never slows down, Koyasan is one of the last places that genuinely does. Some places ask you to look. Koyasan asks you to listen. No, this isn't a zoo. No, it isn't edited. In Jigokudani, Hell Valley, wild Japanese macaques, better known as snow monkeys, actually bathe in open-air hot springs, while snow falls around them. This behavior started in the 1950s after human development pushed the monkeys down from higher mountain habitats. They discovered the thermal pools and never looked back. The park has been open since 1964, accessible only by a narrow footpath through the forest. And that inaccessibility is exactly what keeps it magical. Walking into Arashiyama's bamboo grove different pace from the rest of the country. Wilder, quieter, more open. Home to the indigenous Ainu people, whose ancient culture is increasingly recognized for its remarkable depth. This island carries an identity found nowhere else in Japan. World-class skiing in winter, hiking and cycling in summer, cool, clean air year-round. Hokkaido is Japan with the volume turned down and the scenery turned all the way up. Japan's third largest city and the undisputed capital of good food, a former imperial seat, a modern financial powerhouse, and a place that approaches life with an energy and warmth entirely its own. The Dotonbori district at night is a full sensory experience. Neon signs, sizzling street food, laughter pouring out of every doorway. Osaka Castle anchors the city's history. The streets take care of everything else. Here's something most people never hear. One of the most spectacular cherry blossom parks in all of Japan was created by samurai who refused to let a demolished castle be forgotten. After the castle at Tokaido was torn down in the 1800s, local warriors planted over 1,500 cherry trees across the ruins, a variety called Kohigan Zakura, with blooms even deeper pink than Tokyo's famous blossoms. It wasn't landscaping. It was an act of devotion. Warriors turning a place of battle into a place of beauty for every generation that followed. Those trees still bloom every spring, more than 150 years later, often called the Hawaii of Japan, and once an entirely independent kingdom. The Ryukyu Kingdom ruled these islands for centuries, absorbing deep influences from China and Southeast Asia that still color everything here. The food, the festivals, the architecture, the rhythm of daily life. Okinawa is an archipelago of over 160 islands at Japan's southernmost edge, where the coral reefs are world-class and the beaches are genuinely spectacular. Warm year-round, vibrant April through September, and quietly beautiful even in the slower months. Just 2 hours from Tokyo, Nikko exists in its own world of forested mountains, cascading waterfalls, and temples so ornate they seem to compete with nature for your attention. Toshogu Shrine, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, is covered in gold lacquerwork and hand-carved details so elaborate it feels closer to a jewel box than a building. Perfect in spring for cherry blossoms, spectacular in autumn for foliage, extraordinary in any season. Resting inside the ancient caldera of Mount Hakone, Lake Ashi offers what may be the single most stunning view of Mount Fuji anywhere in Japan. Replica sailing warships, yes, actual pirate-style ships, cruise the lake, adding a theatrical touch to what is already an almost impossibly beautiful scene. With Fuji reflected in still water and forested hills rising all around, it genuinely looks like a painting someone decided to make real. August 6, 1945, the world's first atomic bomb erased Hiroshima in a single moment. More than 75 years later, the city stands not as a ruin, but as the world's most powerful and enduring argument for peace. The A-bomb dome, the skeletal shell of a building that somehow survived the blast, stands preserved exactly as the bomb left it. Not restored, not rebuilt, preserved. A continuous flame burns within the Peace Memorial Park, lit in 1964. It will keep burning until every nuclear weapon on Earth is gone. Walking through this park is one of the most profound experiences available to any traveler anywhere on our planet. In 1859, Japan ended its long self-imposed isolation and opened its port. The quiet fishing village of Yokohama transformed almost overnight into Japan's gateway to the world. Today, it's the country's second largest city, home to the largest Chinatown in Japan, a stunning waterfront, and the futuristic Minato Mirai District, where glass towers rise straight from the harbor. Yokohama absorbed the world's influences and made them entirely, unmistakably, its own. For 3 centuries, Takayama developed in near-total isolation, tucked so deep in the Japanese Alps that no easy road connected it to the outside world. The result is a town that preserved its Edo period character so completely it functions as a living time capsule. Sake breweries still follow generations-old recipes. Craftsmen still carve entirely by hand. The dark timber buildings lining the historic streets have barely changed in 300 years. While the rest of Japan raced into the future, Takayama stood still. And what it chose to hold on to is truly extraordinary. The smallest of Japan's 4 main islands, and arguably the most underappreciated. Ancient pilgrimage trails wind through mountain forests. Wild whitewater rivers cut through the south. Peaceful fishing harbors face the calm Seto Inland Sea. Traditional summer festivals animate entire towns. And Sanuki Udon from this island is in a category entirely its own. Shikoku is the Japan that experienced travelers discover when they're finally ready to go deeper. An hour from Tokyo, a world away from everything. Hakone is where Japan's urban energy simply dissolves. Hot spring baths overlooking pine forests. A cruise across Lake Ashi with Fuji on the horizon. And Owakudani, a volcanic valley where steam hisses from cracked earth and the sulfur-tinged air reminds you the ground here is very much alive. Hakone doesn't demand anything from you. It just quietly offers everything and lets you take exactly what you need. Matsumoto Castle is one of the most visually dramatic original castles remaining anywhere in Japan. Its jet-black exterior earned it the name the Crow Castle. Rising above the Matsumoto Basin against the backdrop of the Japanese Alps, it survived clan wars, long sieges, and 4 full centuries of Japanese history. The city around it once served as capital of ancient Shinano province, and today it wears that history with quiet, unshakable pride. Nagoya has been knocked down and rebuilt more times than perhaps any other city in Japan, and every single time it comes back stronger. Since Tokugawa Ieyasu established it as a provincial capital in 1610, Nagoya has grown into one of Japan's great industrial engines, home to factories, seaports, and a manufacturing culture that drives a significant slice of the national economy. Yet its castle grounds, historic shrines, and fiercely proud local food culture, miso katsu, hitsumabushi, tebasaki, remind you that this city has always had a soul as powerful as its output. In Hokkaido's mountains, Niseko has built a global reputation for one thing above all others: the best powder snow on Earth, world-class ski resorts, traditional onsen steaming in cold mountain air, a surrounding landscape carved from a winter painting. In summer, those same mountains offer hiking and cycling terrain. Right the moment you walk its unhurried streets. Its hilltop castle surveys the Seto inland sea with calm, centuries-old authority. Below it, Dogo Onsen, one of Japan's oldest hot spring bathhouses, offers a ritual soak that travelers have been taking for over 1,000 years. In summer, fireworks and festivals fill the city with color and sound. In every other season, Matsuyama simply glows with a quiet confidence that is entirely its own. Every time the lights change at Shibuya Crossing, up to 3,000 people pour across from every direction simultaneously, surrounded by towering video screens, blazing neon, and the full electric charge of one of the world's greatest cities. It became globally famous in 1973 and has appeared in countless films, music videos, and TV shows ever since. On the busiest days, over 500,000 people pass through here. Stand above it on the pedestrian bridge and watch it happen. It isn't just a crossing. It's a performance that runs every 2 minutes, all day, every single day. Travelers who love Kyoto tend to discover Kanazawa next, and immediately wonder why they waited so long. Preserved geisha districts, centuries-old craft tradition, 2 rivers running through the city center, an architectural authenticity that comes from having been left largely untouched by wartime bombing. Kenroku-on Garden is consistently ranked among the 3 most beautiful in Japan, and in every season, it earns that ranking without effort. Just 2.5 hours from Tokyo by bullet train, and completely worth every minute of the journey. January 17, 1995. a massive earthquake struck Kobe just before sunrise. Over 6,000 lives lost. Nearly 200,000 people left homeless. Highways collapsed. The busiest port in Japan destroyed. And then Kobe got back up, and roads were repaired, neighborhoods were rebuilt, the port reopened. Every December, the Luminary Festival fills the city center with elaborate light installations created in memory of those lost and in celebration of those who refused to give up. Kobe is a city that remembers everything and refuses to be defined by any of it. Peaks rising over 3,000 meters. Crisp mountain air sharp enough to wake you just by breathing it. Winters heavy with snow. Summers hot and vivid and alive. Nagano sits at the high center of Honshu and operates on its own dramatic seasonal rhythm. Home of the 1998 Winter Olympics. Birthplace of the ancient Nakasendo trade route. A region where warlords like Takeda Shingen once fought their most defining battles, and where the mountains still seem to hold the echo of all that history. The food alone is worth the journey. Handmade soba noodles, oyaki dumplings, sake brewed from pure mountain spring water, small island, enormous legacy. Kashikojima in Mie Prefecture's Ugo Bay is where Japan's cultured pearl industry was born. The clean, sheltered waters here providing exactly the right conditions for a technique that would go on to change the jewelry world forever. In 2016, world leaders gathered here for the G7 summit, proof that even the quietest corners of Japan carry real global weight. A 6-kilometer coastal hiking trail offers sweeping sea views, and the pace here is slow, deliberate, and quietly perfect. Sapporo was planned from the ground up. Its streets laid in a neat grid inspired by American city design. Its name drawn from an Ainu phrase meaning big river flowing through the plain. Construction began in 1866, and the city that grew from those early years has become one of Japan's most beloved. The Snow Festival each February draws millions of visitors to see ice sculptures on a scale that has to be witnessed in person. The miso ramen here has legendary status throughout the country. The mountains nearby are extraordinary, and the city itself is warm and genuinely welcoming in every single season. Just 2 hours from Tokyo, Lake Kawaguchiko offers what many consider the most surreal view of Mount Fuji in existence. On still mornings, the lake captures Fuji's reflection with almost supernatural precision. In spring, cherry blossoms frame the scene in soft pink. In autumn, the hillside forests ignite with deep color, part of a national park and UNESCO World Heritage Site. This lake is a base camp for climbers, a canvas for artists, and a refuge for anyone who simply needs to stand somewhere beautiful and remember how to breathe. An hour from Osaka, a world apart. Wakayama doesn't announce itself. It earns your attention slowly, through temple bells drifting through pine trees, through ancient stone paths where emperors and monks once walked, through a landscape so sacred it became known as the land of the gods. The Kumano-Kodo pilgrimage trails winding through this region are among the most spiritually significant walking routes in all of Japan, one of only 2 pilgrimage sites in the world to share UNESCO Dual World Heritage status. Also the birthplace of Konosuke Matsushita, founder of Panasonic, and Torakusu Yamaha. Even the quietest corners of Japan have shaped the world in ways most people never realize. In the heart of Hiroshima, a park holds the weight of the world's most consequential single moment. The A-bomb dome stands preserved exactly as the bomb left it. Not restored, not rebuilt, just preserved. A flame burns continuously within the park, lit in 1964. It will keep burning until every nuclear weapon on Earth no longer exists. This park doesn't ask you to feel any particular way. It simply asks you not to forget.